My father was a wonderful man who waited on me hand and foot when I was a child. Mother used to jokingly call him the slave. When I grew up, I expected to find a husband as loving and selfless as my father. Instead, I found Frank. I would always give Frank 30-minute back rubs, which he always asked for. He would never give me back rubs unless I begged, and then for only 30 seconds. One time, I broke both of my arms and they were put in casts. Despite this, I continued with Frank's back rubs. The doctor warned me that if I continued using the muscles in my arms that way, that I would permanently damage them and I would end up with unbearable shooting pains for the rest of my life. I told Frank what the doctor said. And Frank said I was exaggerating because I was lazy and I didn't care how his back felt. One day shortly after that, after a long time rubbing his back, my own was sore. And so I said, "Your turn. And I want a half an hour because I always give you a half an hour. What's fair is fair." And Frank said, "I thought you gave me back rubs because you love me, not because you expected something in return." And so I explained that I love him, but I also wanted something since I give so much. He then said I was selfish and that I needed to start trying to be a truly selfless person. So I tried to be selfless for a while. But the shooting pains in my arms, which he also refused to massage, was so unbearable that finally I figured it would just be easier to kill Frank than continue trying to be selfless. And I know I should have just left or something, but the apartment was so nice. And why should I have to be the one to give it up? I was the one who found it in the first place. And I suppose even then, there were other ways I could have handled things, but I couldn't think of any at the time. Killing him was the best I could come up with. The real problem with me and Frank, I think, was my inability to be assertive, to assert myself. I mean, had I just asserted my rights to back rubs and to my arms and to my apartment, which I found, then maybe Frank would have respected my needs and I wouldn't have felt that killing him was the only option available to me. I think I fluctuate between being too passive and too aggressive, when really what I need is to find some middle ground between the two.